In a small semi-basement apartment in Seoul, the Kim family tries their best to survive day by day. Father Ki-taek, mother Chung-suk, daughter Ki-young, and son Ki-woo work together folding pizza boxes for very little pay, barely making enough to get by. To cope with their tough conditions, they go as far as using their phones near the bathroom window just to steal some free Wi-Fi from the neighbors. They even leave their windows open on purpose when fumigators spray poison to kill pests in the street, willing to breathe it in just to get rid of the bugs in their home. One evening, Min Hyuk, a close friend of Ki-woo, visits the family. He brings along a special scholar's rock from his grandfather's collection, said to bring wealth to its owner. Along with this gift, Min Hyuk offers Ki-woo a unique job opportunity. Since Min Hyuk will soon travel abroad, he needs someone trustworthy to take over his tutoring duties for the daughter of a wealthy family, the Parks. Ki-woo speaks English well, thanks to his military experience and multiple attempts at the university entrance exam. Min Hyuk believes Ki-woo can easily fill the role, especially since his sister Ki-young can help create a fake university diploma. Besides, Min Hyuk explains, Mrs. Park is naive and trusting, so she probably won't even closely examine the documents. With his best clothes and forged papers ready, Ki-woo arrives at the luxurious Park residence, located in an affluent part of Seoul. The family housekeeper, Guk Moon-gwang, lets him in, and soon Mrs. Park, also known as Choi Yeon-gyo, interviews him. As predicted, she barely checks his paperwork, completely trusting Min Hyuk's recommendation. However, she insists on watching Ki-woo's first tutoring session to make sure he's suitable for the job. His student, Da-hai, is initially shy and startled when Ki-woo suddenly grabs her wrist, but this gesture simply comforts her as she struggles to understand the lesson. Soon enough, Da-hai relaxes and begins to trust Ki-woo. Seeing this, Mrs. Park happily agrees to hire Ki-woo with generous pay. After his first lesson, Ki-woo meets Da-hai's younger brother, Da-song, who is fascinated by Native Americans and is part of the Scouts. Ki-woo, having been a Scout himself, immediately connects with him. While Mrs. Park proudly shows Ki-woo her son's drawings, he pretends to admire the artwork deeply, convincing Mrs. Park of Da-song's artistic talent. When she mentions needing a new art teacher, Ki-woo cleverly recommends his cousin's friend Jessica, an experienced art therapist. In reality, Jessica is his sister, Ki-young. The following day, Ki-young confidently arrives at the Park's home, having quickly studied art therapy and psychology online. Mrs. Park interviews her and is impressed, agreeing to let her teach Da-song privately during their first lesson. By the end of the session, Mrs. Park is amazed at how well Jessica handles her son, especially when Ki-young expertly points out signs of past trauma in Da-song's drawings, referencing an incident from his first grade. Believing that her son urgently needs art therapy, Mrs. Park hires Ki-young immediately, offering her excellent pay. That afternoon, Ki-young meets Mr. Park, Da-song's father, who instructs his driver Yoon to give her a ride home. Ki-young, wanting to hide her true living conditions, asks Yoon to drop her off at the train station instead, claiming she's meeting someone. During the ride, Ki-young cleverly places her underwear underneath the seat, setting a trap to frame Yoon. The Kim family, now earning better money thanks to Ki-woo and Ki-young, begin planning their next move. Soon after, Mr. Park discovers the panties in his car, becoming convinced his driver, Yoon, must be bringing women into the vehicle, and possibly even using drugs. Troubled, Mrs. Park privately asks Ki-young for her opinion about Yoon, and Ki-young mentions how uncomfortable she felt when he insisted on taking her all the way home. Mrs. Park decides it's best to quietly dismiss Yoon. Seizing this opportunity, Ki-young casually recommends her uncle's former chauffeur, who is older and more trustworthy. Of course, this new driver turns out to be their father, Ki-taek. Ki-taek arrives for his interview and impresses Mr. Park right away with his polite manners and detailed knowledge of Seoul, confidently navigating the city without needing a GPS. His driving is so smooth that Mr. Park doesn't even spill his drink during sharp turns. Convinced, Mr. Park hires him immediately. The Kim family's final hurdle is getting rid of the stubborn housekeeper, Moon-gwang, who had worked for the previous homeowners. One day, Ki-woo learns from Da-hai that peaches are banned from the house because Moon-gwang has a severe allergy. With this knowledge, Ki-woo and Kyung secretly sprinkle peach fuzz on Moon-gwang whenever she's distracted. As her allergy worsens, Moon-gwang, convinced she's seriously ill, visits a doctor. Ki-taek is waiting there too, carefully positioning himself to secretly take a selfie, ensuring Moon-gwang appears clearly in the background. Later, he casually shows the photo to Mrs. Park, making her suspicious of Moon Gwang's health condition and setting the stage for their next step. In order to convince Mrs. Park that Moon Gwang is seriously ill, Ki-taek tells her he overheard the housekeeper talking about having tuberculosis. Later at the house, Moon Gwang starts coughing badly due to her allergies, and Ki-taek secretly smears ketchup on the tissues in the trash bin to make it look as if she's coughing up blood. Embarrassed to have someone sick working in their house, Mrs. Park makes Ki-taek promise to keep this from her husband and quietly fires Moon Gwang, telling Mr. Park that she quit voluntarily. Now, without a housekeeper, Mr. Park starts worrying about who will cook and clean for the family. Seizing the opportunity, Ki-taek hands him the card of a high-end domestic agency he claims to have almost worked for, suggesting Mr. Park should tell his wife it was his idea. The prestigious agency is actually another clever trick by the Kims. The phone number on the card is a second phone managed by Ki-young, who pretends to be the agency's secretary. When Mrs. Park calls, Ki-young expertly demands official documents to appear legitimate. Eventually, Chung-suk gets hired as the new housekeeper, successfully securing positions for the entire Kim family. One day, Da-song notices something unusual. All four of the newly hired employees have the same smell. The Kims realize quickly it's not their soap or shampoo, but the unmistakable odor from their old, damp apartment. When the Parks leave for a camping trip, they leave Chung-suk in charge of the house. As soon as they're gone, the Kim family eagerly takes advantage of the luxurious home. They use every room freely, eat lavish food, drink expensive wines, and Ki-woo even secretly reads Da-hai's diary because he's planning to propose to her once she enters university. As they enjoy dinner, they dream out loud about how wonderful life would be marrying into a wealthy family, oblivious to the violent storm raging outside. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, startling them. At the door is Moon Gwang, who explains that she forgot something important in the basement when she was fired and left hastily. While the rest of her family hides, Chung-suk reluctantly lets Moon Gwang inside. But Moon Gwang takes too long downstairs, prompting Chung-suk to check on her. Downstairs, Moon Gwang is struggling to move a heavy cupboard. Chung-suk helps her push it aside, revealing a hidden door that leads to an underground bunker built by the original architect. Inside the bunker, Chung-suk is stunned to find Moon Gwang's husband, Oh Gun-si, who has been secretly living there for years to escape dangerous loan sharks. Moon Gwang explains that she moved her husband there when the house was between owners, and the Parks never discovered the bunker. Moon Gwang regularly snuck food down to him when nobody was watching, which explains why Mr. Park thought she ate too much. Moon Gwang chose this moment to visit because she knew the Parks were away. She desperately pleads with Chung-suk, asking permission to keep her husband hidden there, even offering to pay Chung-suk for food deliveries. But Chung-suk refuses and attempts to call the police. At that very moment, the rest of the Kim family accidentally falls down the stairs, exposing their hiding place. Moon Gwang quickly films the Kims with her phone, capturing proof that they're all family members working together to deceive the Parks. With this evidence, Moon Gwang and Gun-si now have the upper hand, threatening to expose the Kims' deception unless they cooperate. The two couples head upstairs, where Moon Gwang and her husband make themselves comfortable, forcing the Kims to huddle silently in a corner. Moon Gwang criticizes the Kims for making a mess and disrespecting the beautiful house, bragging that when she and Gun-si secretly used the home, they always took great care of it. As Moon Gwang lectures them, the Kims suddenly rush forward, tackling Moon Gwang and Gun-si. Ki-taek grabs Gun-si tightly. Ki-young quickly dumps peaches onto Moon Gwang to trigger her allergies, and Ki-woo snatches Moon Gwang's phone to delete the footage. Suddenly, the house phone rings, freezing everyone in place. Chung-suk answers, shocked to hear Mrs. Park announce that their camping trip has been cut short by the severe storm, and they'll be returning immediately, requesting dinner to be ready upon arrival. Instantly, the Kim family springs into action. Chung-suk rushes to prepare dinner. Ki-taek drags Gun-si down to the basement and ties him up. Ki-young hurriedly hides the mess under furniture, and Ki-woo carries an unconscious Moon Gwang down to the bunker before returning Da-hai's diary upstairs. Just as he's placing the diary back, the Parks arrive home, forcing Ki-woo to hide quickly under Da-hai's bed. Downstairs, Moon Gwang briefly regains consciousness and attempts to escape, but Chung-suk pushes her back down the stairs, causing her to hit her head badly. Ki-taek then drags Moon Gwang's unconscious body into the bunker, where Gun-si is frantically sending Morse code signals by banging his head against the light switches, hoping Da-song might notice and decode them due to his scout training. Ki-taek finds this ridiculous, ties Gun-se securely to a pipe, and leaves them there. Upstairs during dinner, Mrs. Park confides to Chung-suk about Dasong's traumatic experience back in first grade. On one late night, Dasong had sneaked downstairs to secretly eat his birthday cake and saw what he believed to be a ghost emerging from the basement. In reality, it was Gun-se. This terrifying encounter caused the boy to collapse, convulse, and foam at the mouth, traumatizing him deeply. Ever since, the Parks always leave home for his birthday and take him to therapy, hoping to overcome his fears. Ki-woo is nearly discovered hiding under Da-hai's bed when she walks in her room, but luckily, she just picks up her dog and leaves without looking further. Once Mr. and Mrs. Park head to their bedroom, Ki-woo carefully sneaks out and quietly joins Ki-taek to look for Ki-young so they can leave safely. Suddenly, Dasong cries out and runs downstairs, forcing the three of them to quickly hide under the living room table. Dasong excitedly insists on camping outside in the rainy garden, and his parents agree, deciding to sleep on the sofa nearby to keep an eye on him. Now the Kims are trapped, forced to silently endure the Park's uncomfortable conversations about their strange smell and listen as the couple gets intimate. When the Parks finally fall deeply asleep, the Kims carefully leave the house and rush through the pouring rain back to their own neighborhood. Once there, they discover the area has become flooded with sewage water from the heavy storm. They hurry to their apartment, which is also rapidly flooding, and quickly gather whatever belongings they can carry. With nowhere else to go, they spend the night in a local gymnasium, opened as an emergency shelter for families displaced by the flood. Ki-woo holds tightly onto the scholar's rock while he sleeps, upset after hearing his father admit he has no real plan for dealing with the troubling situation left in the Park's basement. Back in the underground bunker beneath the Park's home, Moon-gwang dies from the injury caused by her fall earlier. Her husband, Gun-se, desperately tries to use the bunker's lights to send a Morse code message asking for help. Dasong notices and decodes the flashing lights, but Gun-se is so confused and weak that his message doesn't make sense, only leaving him with a bleeding forehead from repeatedly hitting the switches. The next day, Mrs. Park spontaneously decides to organize a birthday party for Dasong and calls her employees to help. Despite their exhaustion and heartbreak over losing their home, the Kims have no choice but to put on cheerful faces. Chung-suk must cook and arrange tables outside. Ki-taek has to drive Mr. and Mrs. Park around while trying not to react when they again complain about his odor, and Ki-woo must act as respected guests, still pretending to be sophisticated teachers. As part of the festivities, Mr. Park and Ki-taek dress as Native Americans and plan a surprise skit where they'll dramatically rescue Dasong's birthday cake. Meanwhile, Ki-woo quietly slips away after spending some time with Da-hai. Carrying the scholar's rock, he heads down to the basement bunker, only to be suddenly attacked by Gun-se, who managed to free himself from his restraints. Gun-se grabs Ki-woo with a cord around his neck, preventing him from escaping, and finally knocks him unconscious using the scholar's rock. He then emerges from the basement, grabs a kitchen knife, and rushes into the garden, determined to avenge Moon-gwang's death. Gun-se storms the outdoor party and immediately stabs Ki-young. Seeing this horrific sight triggers Dasong's seizure, while Da-hai discovers Ki-woo's unconscious body and drags him outside, desperately calling for help. Ki-taek rushes to his daughter's side, holding her wound and trying to stop the bleeding. Meanwhile, Chung-suk bravely fights Gun-se and manages to kill him with a barbecue skewer. Amidst the chaos, Mr. Park shows no concern for the injured employees. His only priority is getting his son medical help. He urgently demands Ki-taek drive them to the hospital, but Ki-taek refuses to abandon his dying daughter. He angrily throws the car keys toward Mr. Park instead. The keys land near Gun-se's body, and as Mr. Park goes to pick them up, he grimaces and covers his nose, disgusted by the smell even in this dire moment. Infuriated by Mr. Park's selfish reaction, Ki-taek grabs the knife and stabs him, killing him instantly before fleeing the scene. Weeks later, Ki-woo awakens in a hospital after emergency brain surgery. The damage to his brain causes him to laugh uncontrollably, even when faced with devastating news. His sister Ki-young died, his father Ki-taek is missing, he's being charged with fraud, and his mother faces a legal battle as well. Eventually, Ki-woo is released on probation, as authorities rule the deaths occurred in self-defense. Reality only fully sinks in when Ki-woo sees a news report showing the now-empty Park house, which brings the tragedy vividly back to him. Neither Ki-woo nor Chung-suk knows where Ki-taek disappeared to, but detectives continue to trail them for some time, believing they'll eventually lead them to him. Months later, after media attention fades and the police lose interest, Kiwoo hikes up a nearby mountain to secretly observe the former park home. He notices new occupants, a German family who bought the house unaware of its dark history. Suddenly, he sees the lights inside blinking in Morse code, realizing immediately that his father is sending a message. Ki-taek has been hiding in the secret bunker beneath the house this entire time. He buried Moon-Gwang's body in the backyard and survives by sneaking upstairs at night to steal food. Every day, Ki-taek uses the house lights to transmit Morse messages, hoping one day his son might see and understand them. Inspired by this discovery, Kiwoo returns to the semi-basement apartment he still shares with his mother and begins writing a heartfelt letter to his father. In it, he promises to work tirelessly, earn enough money, and eventually buy the house himself, dreaming of finally reuniting their family and freeing his father from his hidden captivity.